Hi guys, it's Kino. Welcome to another video. So I have a message for the collective today. If you felt called to this video, then there is a message here for you. So we are going to jump into it. I have some oracle cards here, some tarot cards. I also rolled a dice for confirmation. So we're going to go through these. The first thing I wanted to mention is that when I sat down to film your reading, I had this sensation of being hugged. It was like this warm and comforting sensation across this front area, and I registered it as an energetic hug. And so I do feel that there is a spirit guide, an angel, perhaps an ancestor or a passed on loved one who is giving you this energetic hug. And it came with a comforting message that everything is going to be okay. You may also be receiving a hug or have the opportunity to hold someone in the near future whom you've been wanting to embrace for a long time. 111 as I'm saying that. Okay, let's get into your cards. So the first card that came up for you was Archangel Metatron, and Archangel Metatron brings the message. Did I just say Metatron? Archangel Metatron brings the message of the third eye chakra. So this could be an angel who is working with you. I feel that this card is here to bring a confirmation to those of you who clicked on this video that your third eye is opening, or your third eye is even more open than before. So some of you may have been actively working on this practice of opening your third eye, working on the practice of strengthening your intuition, or perhaps you have just been feeling like this is something that is happening to you, so to speak, or something that is naturally happening. But this card is here to confirm that. You will notice in the coming days, or you have been noticing for the past few days, that your perspective on certain things, people, situations is shifting. It may even feel like it shifted suddenly, but this perspective shift feels refreshing. It's like you're finally seeing the truth. These perspective shifts are refreshing, and they're also comforting, because when you see the truth of these situations, you realize that there's nothing to worry about. So this could look like a situation that you had been debating on for a long time. I don't know what to do about this. I don't know what decision to make. I don't know how I should feel about this. And then one day it suddenly dawns on you, and it's clear as day, and it's so easy. Oh my gosh, this is the choice I'm supposed to make. Of course. This is how I feel about that person. This is how I want to respond to that situation. Of course, it feels like it's a no-brainer. Why didn't I think of this before? And that's your third eye opening. I also see some of you debating or feeling frustrated about a certain situation. Then it's like a light bulb just goes off and you're like, oh wait, I don't have to worry about this. I don't even have to engage with this. This is not my problem. Like I'm seeing... this could be something you're literally going through, or it could be metaphorical. I'm seeing someone sat at a computer and they're reading some email, some message that they've received, or maybe they're on their phone and they've been debating for minutes, hours, days, like how should I respond to this person? Like, what do I say? Typing it out and then deleting it. And then they're like, wait, I don't have to respond at all. Like, why am I worried about this? Let me move on with my life. So it's like, your third eye opening is bringing that perspective of what really matters, what you have to worry about and what you don't have to worry about. And the majority is stuff you don't have to worry about. And it's also bringing that clarity so that situations that once seemed confusing or decisions that once seemed really difficult, it's just like these light bulb moments are coming to you. It feels easy. It also feels quite gentle. It doesn't really feel like something that is hitting you like a truck. Like, oh my God. It's like, oh yeah. Now that I think about it, I know the answer. Now that I think about it, I know what I want to do. Maybe that sensation, that epiphany actually feels like that warm, comforting hug. It's like your ancestors being like, we got you. 444 as I'm saying that. You're highly protected by your ancestors. Highly protected. There may be an ancestor or a passed on loved one who looks a lot like you, whose spirit is with you right now. Maybe you had some time to be incarnated with them together in this lifetime, and you know you had a relationship with them, someone who looks very much like you. Probably people told you this as well, like, you look just like your grandmother, you look just like your great uncle, you know. Some of you have maybe not met this relative. Maybe you weren't incarnate at the same time, or maybe they lived far away, maybe even in another country, so you didn't get a chance to meet them before they passed. But perhaps you've seen pictures of them and you're like, oh yeah, I do look like them. And that ancestor is heavily protecting you. And they're just saying, like, it's easy. You need help? Easy, I can help you. You need protection? Easy, I got you. They've got you so hard. Yeah. Archangel Metatron, I think we're going to pull some cards later to get some messages from Archangel Metatron, because he's definitely with you. I say he's depicted as a man in this card, and I think a lot of the time is depicted as a man. I don't really think angels have genders like that, but I just looked up at the camera timer and saw 613, which is my area code of my hometown. So something about area codes, or like your hometown, or seeing an area code as a repeating number could be significant. It's also 613 is also the birthday of one of my good friends. I have often felt Archangel Metatron as like a bouncer. I don't know where that comes from. I've just always felt their energy as a bouncer. I also just saw 649, which is the name of the lottery. I don't know if that's like in my province or in my city, whatever. Lotto 649. Someone could be winning the lottery, or you're about to have a victory that feels very much like winning the lottery. Like it was such small odds, but you made it happen. But yeah, Archangel Metatron feels very protective to me. Sorry, Metatron, I keep going on tangents when I'm talking about you and your energy. But yeah, this angel is going to make sure that no one and nothing can mess with you, that your blessings are secured, that this victory is secured for you. I'm seeing in my mind's eye like a gold medal, a trophy, things like that. There's a victory that is coming to you, and you are protected on your path to this victory, and you are also protected from this victory being stolen from you in some way, whether that's a possession literally being stolen from you, or the credit of your accomplishments being stolen from you. You're protected from that as well. If anyone around you has tried to do something like that, it's not going to work, and they will have their karma for that. You're also protected from any sort of envy or jealousy that is going to come from receiving this victory. Is there anything else? I do have an angel tarot deck where Archangel Metatron is on the Fool card, so I have that association with them in my mind as well. Archangel Metatron and the Fool card, unexpected opportunities, leaps of faith, things like that. Definitely this is a time to be paying attention to changes in perspective. This is a time where you're shifting from distorted perspectives to a clear perception of the truth. You're finally seeing the truth about a situation, or the truth about the path that you are on. And this is also a time to be on the lookout for changes of heart that you may have. And I keep thinking of this time frame of days. So it may be something that you've been feeling for the past few days, or I just saw 913 on the camera timer. Maybe some of you have been feeling this since like mid-September-ish, or that you will be feeling in the next coming days. These kind of changes of heart. I've been going down this path. I think I kind of want to veer this way. I think I want to try something different. If you start changing your mind about your path, about your approach, really pay attention to that, because it's your third eye that is leading you. So you may not see with your physical eyes, you may not see with your five senses why you feel guided this way or why you should change your course. But it's not your physical eyes that are leading you, it's your third eye. The cards that came out after Archangel Metatron to really confirm this are the Journey card and the Door to Spirit card. And I feel like these two cards make so much sense together. You are embarking on a journey that is leading you to the door to spirit. And we have a dove on this card, which is a sign of freedom and inner peace. It's also very graceful. You could be making a graceful exit, like it's gonna go smoothly. You could be making a graceful entrance into a new space. Any transitions that you're going through, you'll be able to do them with grace. There's kind of this feeling of not knowing where the journey led, and then it leading to the door to spirit. So this could be a journey that you embarked on for a different reason. You didn't necessarily set out on this journey because you're thinking like, oh, this is gonna lead to my spiritual awakening. This is gonna lead to my spiritual advancement, 1111, as I'm saying this. Like, this is gonna lead to the opening of my third eye. I don't really think that was your reason for going on the journey. I think it's something that you found out when you got to the end of it, that was the purpose. This was for my spiritual advancement. This was for my awakening. To confirm this message, I rolled a die and we got the number 8. This is a number of abundance, so we like that. This door is also gold. So this door to spirit is going to lead to your abundance. She's having trouble focusing, eh? Yeah, I love this image. It's also the number of the 8th house, which is a very intuitive and very psychic part of the sky. It also is making me think of a commitment you will make that does make you feel vulnerable, because you are really binding to someone, or you're really relying on someone. Yeah. You're binding together with someone in a way that feels vulnerable. You could be moving in with someone, signing a contract with someone, joining assets, like merging your assets or merging your intellectual property, and you're making that discernment that this is the right thing to do, and it feels vulnerable somehow. I also pulled some Gummy Bear Tarot cards. Felt called to use this today because it's so cute. We have the 5 of Wands, the 10 of Pentacles, and we have the Page of Swords. I actually feel called to... Okay, if this takes a long time, I'll cut it out because I don't want you to just be sitting here. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. It's so... Spirit is so cool like that. You know, I looked up at the camera timer and saw 913, which, you know, I wouldn't usually mention that number because I usually just mention like angel numbers, so to speak, repeating numbers, but I felt called to mention 913, and like mid-September might have been significant. And then when we got the 10 of Pentacles, this is Mercury in Virgo. So I know like Mercury was in Virgo in August and then it retrograded into Leo, so it's like gonna go back into Virgo. And yes, I have the ephemeris for September 2024 here, and Mercury went back into Virgo on September 10th. So like something significant could have happened in mid-September, or like when Mercury was in retrograde. But there's definitely, the major theme of this reading is clarity. Getting clarity about something, moving forward in your life with a sense of clarity that makes you feel safe and empowered, because you know what you're doing. You know that this is the right choice. It's being made clear as day to you. The key to getting clarity is to look at the bigger picture of things, to think in the long term. We had the Five of Wands, which it does feel like a frazzled energy. It feels like a lot of things competing for your time and attention and energy. It could also be referring to some scattered efforts, like having a lot of things going and not really being able to get any of them off the ground because your focus is scattered or it's inconsistent. You know, you're focused on this and then you're focused on that and then you're focused on that. And it's not enough time and care for any individual thing to make progress and to bear fruit. Your focus is scattered in all different places, or external factors are pulling on you from all different directions. You have to look over here, now you have to look over here, now you have to take care of this thing, and now you have to focus on this person. It's a feeling of things were kind of all over the place. And maybe this past retrograde kind of exacerbated that for you. When you think about your long-term future, when you think about what is going to matter in 3 years, what is going to matter in 5 years from now, like when you're worrying about things or when you're feeling frazzled, I think asking yourself, is this really going to matter in the long term, will be something that is very freeing, that will help you let go of things before they even really become a big deal, or before they even really sink their teeth. I mean, you're like sink their claws into your brain. Before they even get a chance to do that, they're already blowing away in the wind, because you already realize this is not something that truly matters. This is not really something that's going to matter in the long term. We have the Ten of Pentacles and we have the Page of Swords. Ten of Pentacles can talk about family, like your children, your legacy, or the generations that come after you. And we also have the Page, which can represent children. There could be something about family or children really grounding you, and that also being something that helps you to not worry about things that don't really matter. When you think about the inner peace that you want for your children, or the future you want for your children, whether they are already here or like hypothetical future children, or even like, yeah, even hypothetical, like if I did have a child, what would I want for them? That could be something that helps you make the right decisions, or even thinking about your own inner child. What do I want for my own inner child? Like wait, let me try to make this make sense. If you put yourself in the shoes of your inner child, so you are little you, and you imagine current you coming to them, what would you want to hear from current you? What would you want to hear from adult you? Probably you would want to hear that everything is okay, that we're not stressed, that there's nothing to worry about. And so what do you do now to secure that kind of future, so that future you can come back and give that comforting message to your inner child? I really hope that makes sense. I feel like the last time we did a collective message, there was some like wonky timeline messages about interacting with like inner child and future you. It gets kind of wonky when we get into that, but Page of Swords really is about clarity as well. It's about seeing the truth of a situation, even if it's uncomfortable, or even if it's like a hard pill to swallow, and just doing what needs to be done. So it may be uncomfortable to come to that realization sometimes of like, this thing that I'm worrying about is really not going to matter in the long-term future, and maybe it doesn't need my engagement. Maybe it doesn't need my attention. I also really like the Ten of Pentacles with this number 8, like abundance, prosperity. For those of you manifesting abundance, prosperity, career success in your life right now, I definitely think that energetically decluttering, like decluttering what you give your focus and attention, is going to be really important. This is definitely, like, for the collective who clicked on this video, you're definitely going to want to have more eggs in fewer baskets. Fewer things that you're focused on, and you're giving a lot of time and energy to them, rather than having like a ton of things going and having limited focus to give them. Okay, so I want to shuffle this Lunalapin deck now, and we are going to see what messages Archangel Metatron has for you. Oh my gosh, that was a messy shuffle. What message does Archangel Metatron have for this collective? We have the Queen of Swords, which I feel like is a more evolved version of that Page of Swords message. There is definitely a feeling of needing to cut away things that don't serve you anymore and having to be pretty strict about it. The feeling that I often get with the Queen of Swords, or the analogy that often comes to my mind, it's like if you were trying to declutter your home, you have to take quite a minimalist approach, like a Marie Kondo kind of situation, where, and I've not really watched any of her material, but I remember that she's like, if this doesn't spark joy, you got to get rid of it. You know, and I'm so guilty of this when I'm going through things to declutter my home. I'm like, oh, well, maybe I can keep that. Like, sure, I haven't used it in 3 years, but I might use it again. Like, I didn't even remember that I had this. It's been in a box in my basement for years. Completely forgot about it, but I could keep it. Like, I'm very much like that. Or like, I can't get rid of this because it has some vague sentimental memory. Like, yeah, I'm definitely very much like that. So I get it. Like, if you are someone who struggles to do that, but the Queen of Swords is very just like, I don't use it, it's out of here. So there could be something about decluttering your space, definitely your schedule and like what the things that you're focused on. Also like your contacts list, the list of people you follow. But on that note, as you go into this deep kind of decluttering, you may actually rediscover something that is of value to you. I'm imagining somebody decluttering their Google Drive. You know, they have to free up some storage and they're like delete, 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 delete. But then they actually do find something from many years ago, maybe something they worked on, or a contact or a memory that they're like, wait, I can do something with this. So, and maybe that's like a message of guidance for you if you are, because you are going to be going through something to declutter and old things are going to be coming back up. When an old thing comes up and you feel like, oh, like maybe I shouldn't get rid of this, maybe I'll use it in the future, get rid of it. That's your message, to get rid of it. But if something old comes up and you're like, oh my gosh, I forgot about this, like, and you genuinely feel that spark of excitement and you're like, not even like, oh, I might need this in the future, like you're already on it kind of thing, then keep that. Whatever sparks that excitement and immediately propels you into action, to keep it or to repurpose it or to reignite it, like that's what you should be keeping. Don't be guided by that vague, like, oh, but I have a bit of sentimental, oh, but what if I regret, like, don't let your emotional side guide you in that. It will be very clear. It will be very obvious if you're meant to keep it, because you'll already be like taking the steps to have it back in your life. Okay, we have the Six of Wands. I was thinking, as I was shuffling, I had this message of getting back in touch with an old contact. And we have the Six of Wands, which, there we go. We have the Six of Wands here. Six of Wands for the next while, it's always going to make me think of the year 2026 because it's Jupiter in Leo. So yeah, and also there's a horse on it, and 2026 is year of the horse, and Jupiter is going to be going into Leo. So it's just, that's like ingrained in my brain. I'm going to be saying this until 2026. So yeah. The year 2026 could be significant for you. It could be one of your most abundant years, or the most abundant year that you've had so far. And there was something about getting in touch with an old contact, and either you or them, or perhaps both of you, have really leveled up since you last spoke. You or them could even be like low-key a little bit famous, or like very well known. It's, maybe this is a bit of a dramatic example, but it's like if you had a friend from high school and then you kind of went your separate ways after high school. It's like you used to be really, really close, but then you kind of drifted apart, and then now that friend is like a famous actor or something. And you're like, oh my God, I'm so proud of them. That's so cool. Like, I miss them. I want to reach out, but now it might be kind of weird because like they're famous now, and I don't want them to think like that's why I'm reaching out. I genuinely want to connect with them, kind of thing. And you might be feeling like, oh, I don't know if they would want to reconnect with me, or, you know, and then I'm just making up this story as I go, but it's like, it's just to illustrate the energy, right? And so then maybe one day you go out on a limb because they're gonna do like a meetup event, and you're like, you know what, I'm gonna go, and like you're thinking about what you're gonna say to them, and like you're nervous, but then the second they see you, they're like, oh my God, like it's been so long, and they're so happy to see you, and you're just immediately put at ease because you were nervous about like, oh, is our dynamic gonna be different? And it's not, and they love you, and they're so happy to see you. And, you know, this energy could play out in many different ways. It could be the other way around, where like you have gone on to be very successful, and there's an old friend who is wanting to reconnect to you, or an old love interest who's wanting to reconnect to you, and they're nervous to come forward because they're like, oh my gosh, like collective, you who is watching, they've grown so much, they've become so successful, they're so impressive now, like I don't know if they're still in my league, I don't know if they still want to connect with me. Like there's some kind of dynamic like that. Someone in this dynamic has really leveled up. They've maybe even gained like recognition or even fame, and the other person really wants to reconnect, but now they feel weird about it, and like they just feel kind of nervous about it. But then as soon as they reconnect, it's like the status doesn't matter at all. This could even be someone new for some of you. I'm just thinking back to that message of like getting to hug someone you wanted to hug. Like you could be meeting someone you really look up to and you get to hug them. Yeah, there's just a feeling of being nervous to approach someone because of their status or because of how successful they are. And like, oh, like, are they gonna want to talk to little old me and connect with little old me? But then it's like, it's not like that at all. It's like, it's all love, it's all friendly, like we're down to earth. So yeah, that's maybe a sign for some of you, like to not worry if it's you who's doing the approaching, to not worry about that kind of stuff. But it could very well be like if you've had a glow up in your life recently, like if you've become significantly more successful or recognized, it could be someone in your life who's kind of wary about approaching you. But, you know, we were using that word victory at the start of the reading too. Like there's a victory, and Archangel Metatron is protecting you on the way to this victory, protecting you that nobody can take this victory from you. So I think this is also further confirmation. Your victory is secured as long as you keep doing what you're doing, which you will. You will keep doing what you're doing. Also, just back on the message of decluttering and getting more selective about where you put your focus. Another way to help you do that is imagine yourself at the pinnacle of success in each of those things, and what feels the most invigorating, what makes you feel the most alive. So if you have like 3 projects going right now and you're like, I really need to just focus on one, take a moment to like sit down and visualize yourself at the peak of success in project number 1, at the peak of success in project number 2, and what your life is like, and simply which one makes you feel the most alive. And I have like goosebumps right now. So there's you guys who chose this video, like out of the things you're currently focused on and putting efforts in, there's one that's gonna really take off. I have chills right now. Like there's one that's gonna really take off and propel you to unprecedented, like inconceivable levels of success. And you can exaggerate with it when you're visualizing. You can exaggerate with it. Imagine yourself at like the biggest level of success you can think of. And like what makes you the most excited. I certainly can imagine for myself, because I do be doing like 8 million projects, but I know deep down what is my 6 of wands, what is my like, when I visualize this one taking off, I'm like screaming, crying, peeing, throwing up, like, I'm like, oh my God. Yeah, so whatever that is for you, that's the one to focus on. And on that note, Archangel Metatron is saying that's literally the practical thing to do, to pursue the thing that you're most excited about, because the thing you're most excited about is going to be the one that you're consistent at. It's going to be the one that you actually show up for, and it's going to be the way that you best serve the collective. Like, you're going to serve the collective when you do something you are enthusiastic about. Who are you serving when you show up like lukewarm? You know, you got to choose what really lights you up in this life. Okay, one last message from Archangel Metatron. Ooh, this is like, I think this is a original, yeah, because it's not the sun card, because it doesn't have the number 19 on it. So sunrise is just its own. Ooh, Childish Gambino has a song called Sunrise. It's so good. It is in the key of D. While they be sleeping, I'll be on that new shit. While they be sleeping, I'll be on that new shit. Hey, what it do, bitch? Why these other rappers do shit stupid? Oh my God, that song is so good. I'm literally gonna listen to that as soon as this is done. I don't even remember what I was saying. But yeah, that song is in the key of D. I see orange, I see the sacral chakra, I see you being rewarded when you go with your gut. Sunrise, this could be a message about coming out, seeing the light at the end of the tunnel after a dark night of the soul, or just after a dark time. Clarity, like I see the light now. You know, I can see the light now. I can see the truth now. There's also that song, like, I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. I don't even know who that's by. It's kind of an older song. There's Johnny Nash coming up, and there's also Jimmy Cliff. I don't know if one is the original and one is a cover. And then also, I'm just looking at the Google results, and this is jumping out at me. Stevie Wonder said, "Music is a world within itself, with a language we all understand." Some of you could be musicians. But yeah, I feel like that message is significant. I can see clearly now the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. Yeah. I can make it now. The pain is gone. All of the bad feelings have disappeared. Here is that rainbow I've been praying for. Look all around. There's nothing but blue skies. Look straight ahead. There's nothing but blue skies. Oh, that's beautiful. Is this also in D? Let me see. Maybe not. I really have not heard this song that much. Girl, it is! It's in D! The way my brain, like, I will hear a song once when I was like 8 and just like remember the key is crazy. So there you go. That's sacral chakra energy, baby. That's going with your gut. That's creativity. That's that intimacy and vulnerability that we were talking about before. This is you with your path completely illuminated. And it's so beautiful because I just see you, like, you were walking on this path in the dark with no evidence of whether or not this is the right path, just waiting for the sun to come out and to show you the way. And when the sun does come out, all the sun shows you is like, yep, you were on the right path. Yep. It's like when you're walking down the street and you're like, I have no idea if I'm going the right way. And then you pull out Google Maps and it's like, oh yes, I am. The sun comes out and it's just going to show you what you already knew. Yeah. Thank you, Archangel Metatron. That was a lovely message. So, yeah, I think those are all the messages for the collective today. Thank you so much to everybody who clicked on this video. I hope that this message resonated with you. Please feel free to let me know in the comments how it resonated for you. And I'm sending you guys so much love. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching this. If you would like to find me elsewhere, I'm going to have my Instagram, Patreon, music, links down below, all that good stuff. I send you hugs and kisses. Yumi sends you snores and snuggles. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye!